Okay, so viewers, fans, subscribers, gamers, all the same out there, welcome to the next episode of the Space Bridge, the podcast series here for the Iacon Battle Circuit on PlayStation, sometimes PC. So, in our recent denouement of fighting game activities, the Invincible versus beta had recently blessed the land here, in making its debut and creating a brand new community again for another subculture and IP in the fighting game community. And so this happened over the course of 2 days originally, and then the company decided to go on ahead and allot us an additional day, which, hey, bless them. That way we get a chance to grind some leaderboards and whatnot, get a chance to delve more into the schematics of what the game could be at market value when it comes at the end of this month, April. Join with me in reviewing everything that happened throughout the beta is another player that had also played through the video game also, and another one of my oldest comrades throughout the totality of fighting games such as Dragon Ball FighterZ or Mortal Kombat or Guilty Gear. I want to introduce you guys to Juan Wique.
Hi there.
Oh, what it do? Oh man,
What it do? What it do?
Oh man, I tell you that beta was wild.
It was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yo. And chat, if you guys have any questions or anything about your thoughts about what you loved or didn't like about the beta, by all means, mention it while we're going through, and we can fire
Let me
it off
see
on
if I can
chat.
get chat on the side here. Got it. Boom. Pop out. Boom. All right, I'm ready.
All right. So going into the stuff here, so first impressions and overall experience. First question, what were your expectations going into the beta, and did it meet them?
My expectations were they weren't relatively high. It's just because when the whole purpose of the beta is to get the bugs out, right? So like going into it, I imagine there was going to be a lot of hiccups. I imagine there was going to be, especially working on a game with rollback netcode, you tend to see some weird things like as far as desyncs and stuff like that. But so the expectations going in were low. But like as I played, it was actually they exceeded the expectations because for the most part, outside of the rage quits, which we could talk about a little bit later, the matches themselves felt great. I didn't really have any as far as I noticed, I didn't see any desyncs at all. And the netcode, like when we had to play the full match, was incredible. So I had a lot of fun. When getting into games was really quick too. Or didn't take too long to find a match. There were some hiccups as far as matchmaking freezing and stuff, but I'm sure they'll iron all that stuff out as they go because they did get a lot of data and a lot of people did play the game. So
They did, because
yeah.
day zero I think was like pretty hot in terms of like making sure the servers were stable enough to hold everybody.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think the game itself, it definitely exceeded my expectations as far as matching up with people. As far as the rank system goes, I feel like it did well. It did good.
Okay. Next question. What was your immediate reaction after the first few matches? Like, how did it feel?
So after the first few matches, the game felt very similar to the last beta. So I got to play the game one additional time before the last beta because there was a little event they held in New York City that they invited us out to. So going from that into the first beta was a huge jump, and then going from that beta to this one was an even bigger leap. But the game, for better or for worse, still felt very similar. It's very aggressive, very system mechanic based. Like my approach to the game as it stands is learning the system mechanics because they're all very strong and you kind of need them to survive because it's a very high damage game. I think every character has a solo TOD or close to a solo TOD. Like you don't even need assist or anything. And if you don't know those system mechanics, you're just gonna lose.
Yeah, yeah. Because they give you a pretty good amount of time in order to really lab between matches and to kind of
Yes.
figure things out as you go and you grind.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. Did the game feel more casual friendly or competitive focused?
Definitely competitive. It's weird though because it is casual friendly. There's obviously not obvious, but if you got to play the beta, there's two control schemes. There's a modern control scheme, which is more akin to what most fighting games, and it's what I play on too, where they simplify the supers. There's no quarter circles. It's one button specials and shortcut supers. So it's you press 3 buttons for level 3, you press 2 buttons for level 1. And the only penalty is you get like a very slight damage penalty, but it's not enough to overall make you feel handicapped. Some TODs become 95% combos for like a scale of reference. So it's like it's a little bit of a handicap sometimes, but it's not enough to be a huge detriment because the benefits for me outweigh the cons. You know, access because level 3s in the game are invincible, so you could like mash that in between block strings and stuff, and you'll be able to get them off pretty consistently in the modern control scheme. And if you want the damage and if you want the control of inputs, the standard option is there for you also. And the benefits of that is you get full damage, so it's a lot easier to perform those TODs and stuff. So there's definitely room for both. I think as the game gets nuanced, it's definitely more lent towards a competitive kind of mindset. Because again, like there is a lot of system mechanics, and the casual is not going to get that deep into the game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The casual is just there to match the auto combo, see the super, and play the story mode if there's going to be a story mode. So I feel like they're going to get filtered pretty hard, especially in the beginning.
Makes sense. I'm just curious on how, like, depending upon where this goes, how the DLC expansion works, or what the initial impressions are when it becomes more global. I'm intrigued on how they're going to balance trying to appease the casuals to keep the retention there long enough to generate a good flow of the bloodstream.
Yeah, that's kind of my concern too, because the game, if you don't do that tutorial, the game is rough. So, especially considering the ambitions of a team game too, where you have to learn 3 characters and you have to learn the system mechanics behind these 3 characters.
Exactly.
It's good that the system is freeform, so like you could do your standard like like the Dragon Ball Magic series where you do light 2M 5M. You could do that with almost the entire roster, and you could get away with that.
Yeah.
So in that case, it's good that the characters are streamlined in such a way where they don't have to memorize too much, but there is going to be that initial hurdle that I am concerned if the casual player is going to be willing to go through those hurdles.
True, because like, granted, yeah, the game does have a lot of good like mash-friendly antics, which would accommodate like the beginner-friendly mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned on like them having the character crisis effect that would happen for them at a quicker rate with trying to figure out what works or what mashes best, quote unquote, or what flows with the team that you want to play.
Well, Active Switch is a pretty good job, but that's the thing with Active Switch too, is it does a pretty good job of homogenizing that too, because you can't DHC in the game, so it's not like there's DHC synergy you have to worry about.
Right.
So a lot of it you can get away, like even at the beginner level, like you could get away with light, like you do the auto combo into the super. That's a bar. You hold Active Switch, the other guy flies in and keeps the combo going. You can get away with that for a while too. And that's a lot. That's really what was filtering people out in the beginning. When you saw the rage quits, is people that just didn't know how to counter tag. So it would look like they were getting comboed forever, but every opportunity there was an active switch was an opportunity to burst, and they just didn't know it. You know what I mean? So it's just it's things like that.
Okay. Next question. How does it compare to other fighting games you played recently?
Recently, it doesn't compare so much because this is the first team game I played since Dragon Ball. I didn't play Hunter x Hunter, never played Battle for the Grid. Um, the last team game I played competitively was Skullgirls. I've been practicing a little bit for that for Combo Breaker. Comparing them to the two, I feel like the freeform combo system kind of reminds me of Skullgirls a little bit, where like the imagination, like your imagination's your limit. Like if you think that something can go into something, it probably can, and if you can't, there's probably a way to make it so. There is a lot of depth to the combo system. At first, it feels a little restrictive, but once you understand how boosted dash canceling works and how assists affect the tag meter and how active switch resets the tag meter, there's a lot that you can do. Like there's technically no jump cancel limit in the game. The only thing stopping you from jump canceling is the combo meter. And once you figure out how to reset that, there's a lot of stuff that you could do with the system that's pretty cool. I have like a bulletproof combo that looks like a Captain Falcon Smash Brothers combo where it just hits you with the knee over and over again. It looks so sick.
Oh,
And it's because of
damn.
the yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. But I'll send that to you in Discord as I talk. But it's really interesting. The how the combo system works in the game. As far as the actual movement kind of feels like Marvel 3. There is a little bit of execution barrier, but with the dash macro, it's not so much of a problem. But if you're a person that doesn't like macros, you might have a little bit of a hard time because it feels a little awkward at first. And then again, there's like the Dragon Ball Fighters auto combos, but they're different because they don't autocorrect. So I know that's a big deal in Dragon Ball, where someone's mashing auto combo, and then if you go to the other side, it'll just turn them around and you get hit with a heavy starter. So there's none of that, thankfully. And if the auto combo whiffs, the auto combo doesn't come out either. So you could just stand there mashing jab looking silly, and then you could punish them for that. I got myself punished for that also because that's a bad Dragon Ball Fighters habit that I had in the
Yeah.
beginning of the beta, is I was just mashing light hoping for the auto combo to get him, and it just wouldn't come out. And I'm like, oh man, I look dumb as hell now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how I compare it to the games right now. Here's the combo.
Okay, because I feel like because the game gives me a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters like assist systemics with Mortal with Marvel versus Capcom movement maneuverability and
Yeah,
a Mortal Kombat combo creativity system. The old Mortal Kombat combo system
yeah.
in a
I kind of see that.
tag friendly style. Because the more I kept seeing other people when I was like trying to climb, and I kept seeing other people like really abuse the tag system, it's like, oh damn, this is really Marvel-y.
Yeah. And thank goodness for no DHCs, man, because I'm telling you, if we had them, there'd be even more touch of deaths.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That would almost be like a better parallel of Hunter x Hunter, where Todd is just at the table.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chat. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at this real quick.
One beat down coming up. It's all good. I called you a cat.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm about to go live soon too.
Okay, this character actually has some pretty saucy combos.
Yeah, it gets even crazier than that too. Like that's kind of like just something I found real quick to get into the beta. Like a quick little BNB. But like I've seen people do some pretty sick stuff with all the characters. All the characters have stuff like that where it's just your imagination is genuinely the limit. It's not like a traditional game where you have one BNB for everything. You can play it that way, but if you're optimized enough and you have enough situational awareness, you could have different routes for very specific situations. So I'm looking forward to how the game optimizes using the boosted dash system, because that's really where all the magic happens.
Huh. Okay, didn't think about it like that. The main thing that I was looking at was either the combo breaker or looking at how to like properly apply or maybe abuse or optimize the tag engine in order to optimize the most out of an important hit.
Yeah. So the benefits of finding out your solo damage is that the only thing they can do is use the assist breaker, which costs them a lot of resources. If they don't have that available, then yeah, there's not a whole lot they can do to escape the combo. Whereas if you active switch combos too much, you're always playing that mini game around counter tag.
Yeah. So next I want us to take a look into core gameplay and mechanics. Next question. How did the combat system feel? I know you were starting to delve into that, but more in depth to that. How did the engine feel with you? Did it feel like responsive based, or did it feel like kind of clunky? Somewhere in between?
Somewhere in between. Like there is like so once you understand what you want to do, you do get a really good response out of it. But the initial learning of timing and getting around how some of the mechanics work, is a little weird. Like I said, like movement is a little uncomfortable at first. But once you start getting the rhythm to the movement down, it becomes very intuitive very quickly. Push block timings are a little clunky. It's not like a Marvel 3 where you could mash advancing guard and it'll always, come out, it'll always push away. Um, there are situations with the blocks, and I think that's a fault of the block stun in the game too, where you'll try to push block, but you'll catch an in between frame, and you'll end up getting backdashed, and you'll get naturally frame trapped. And that person wasn't even trying to frame trap you; they were just doing their block string, and you just put block at the wrong time, and you got a backdash, and you get clipped. Stuff like that. That's really awkward. I found that, yeah. And then and then because of that block timing, like your combo timing might not be the same as your block string you're hitting someone on block. So I was having a lot of trouble. Like when I got the hit, it was fine. But when they blocked and I was doing my block string, I was having a lot of trouble finding the timing to the block string, where like my crouching medium wouldn't come out or a standing medium wouldn't come out because the timing is slightly different on block. So that in that sense, it's a little clunky. But once you figure out those timings and once you iron that, the game does feel smooth. It's just those initial like learning hiccups. So I'd say yeah, it's somewhere in between.
Okay. I know it does feel. I know for the most part it does feel kind of clunky. It kind of feels as clunky as like an NRS game when it's first coming out.
Yeah, that's kind of a good way to describe it. Like MK1 the first time around, like trying to get your cameo timing down and everything like that. It's just a little weird. Absolutely. Or how you call the cameos in certain situations. Yeah.
Yep, that's a good example right there because MK1 was pretty clunky.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, as we're going into the core gameplay and mechanics further, were there any mechanics that stood out as unique or refreshing?
Counter tag. Both counter tag. Like I think that is an incredibly cool mechanic. I know defense is like pretty strong in a lot. Well, I guess not. So I guess what makes it so refreshing is that defense feels as strong as offense in this game. And I know some people might not like that, but I think it's really cool because once you embrace counter tag, you really feel like you're playing the game. Like a lot of problems that a lot of fighting games have is that when you hit someone with a combo, if you use a burst, you're pretty much done. Like that you pretty much get taken out. Especially in Tekken 2, where there is no burst. You get hit with a launcher in Tekken, you have to watch 30 seconds of combo. And there's literally nothing you can do as the person getting hit on defense. You just have to hold that. In this game, with counter tag, it really allows the defender to stay locked in, and it rewards the defender for being locked in because if you ever catch an active switch or if you see an active switch, you can snipe that with counter tag, burst the combo, and now you get your turn back and you get to play the game again. So just having that ability on defense is so huge, especially so it just keeps you engaged with the game. There's never a moment where you could truly fall asleep. Even during block, if someone does a block string into active switch, that's still a counter tag opportunity that you could take, and you could take your turn back and reset neutral and play the game. So defense feels really rewarding, and I think it's a very refreshing because being player 2 and getting beat out of you, it could be pretty demoralizing, especially in a tag game. Obviously you see Marvel with attack infinites, you just gotta watch your guy explode.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? So something like that I think is pretty cool. It's a good way to approach it. And then another mechanic I enjoyed was, like I was talking about before, the boosted dash system, where you could dash cancel air dash, you could dash cancel normals, and that leads to and then when you dash cancel a normal, it resets your combo limit. So that's how you extend your combo as a solo, and you don't hit that combo limit meter, and you just loop them over and over again. And then
I had a feeling because I had this theory looking at the mechanics as they unfold. It just felt like, okay, I know they have a natural limiter on how much you can do in a combo normally, and I just felt like, okay, there's a theory where it's like if there's more hits you can get off in the combo, it feels like the more damage you can just keep doing.
Yeah. So like that's pretty cool. So eventually, the combo theory is you spend all your boosts with your solo to get as much solo damage as possible. And then you active switch, that's an opportunity for you to play the counterattack minigame. So as you know, if you active switch in a combo, that's a counterattack opportunity for the defender. As the offender, you have the opportunity to go for your extension, or you can bait their burst. And when you bait and then as the offender, baiting someone's counterattack it feels amazing. It feels just as amazing. So you bait their counterattack, they can't burst, you extend again. And then you do the same thing. So you either kill the character, or if you can't kill, you active switch again, and then you play the minigame again.
Okay.
And then so then the other cool part is if the person baits the burst and then the other person was just gonna hold the damage, now they have an opportunity to punish you for baiting the burst. So it's really there's a lot of Yomi there that I just really enjoy. Because then once we got to the later matches, like once we got to because I peaked around I think I ended the beta at 250, but I peaked around like top 100. And when I was playing like those high level matches with those people that really started to grasp the mechanics, a lot of times I would active tag and try to bait their burst, and then they didn't burst, so they'd give the full combo. Then they try to hit me with the same thing, and now I'm thinking, oh, are they gonna bait my burst? They're gonna hit me, you know what I mean? And I bursted, and I was able to reset neutral, and it was just really cool, just having like just being that aware all the time.
Damn.
And just you gotta stay locked in. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Because day one I grinded that, I was like somewhere close to like top 5,000, almost at 5,000. Then next day took a break before I got back in there. It didn't feel, I don't know, I felt like I couldn't get the controls as well as I could, but I was doing more neutral even though my combos were getting crappier.
Yeah.
And so I just took a break after an hour, and then day three I went in there like full throttle the whole time. That one I went from 5,000 all the way back down to 18,000 something.
That's cool.
So I had to like grind my way all the way back. I mean, I didn't really get that far. I was lucky if I even got back to maybe like within like rank 10,000, if that.
Yeah. No, I felt pretty hard too. Like at the end, because I didn't end up playing a lot of the second day. So when I did get back on, I ended up falling to like, or I think it was like around 200, 250, around there. But yeah, because there were people that just didn't sleep. You know, I just looked like I saw there was, I forgot the name, but there was one guy who I remember seeing when I left Friday night at like 30 wins, and when I got back on Saturday night, he was already at like 150. I was like, oh, there's no way I'm catching up. It's
No.
over.
Yeah, some of them.
Yes.
I think whatever it is they did to just say, hey, we're gonna whenever they said, hey, we're gonna immortalize the top 20 people that do okay in the beta, something in that just sparked like the no lifeism of a handful of people to just say,
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to have that shit.
They were just playing. Good
Like,
for them. If I had the time, I would have been with them. Don't get me wrong.
for sure.
But as someone, job and responsibilities, I couldn't dedicate that much time to it. I
That's
wish
it.
I could though.
But hey, but the story that goes with it for those of us that didn't get a chance to be among those 20 is that we probably had a chance to fight one of those 20 along the way.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I definitely did. Especially in the first day. Like I said, like I was with them in the first day. The first day, like in that top 100, I've ran into a lot of people. Like RB Keys was a really good person. I think he ended up in the top 20. A couple of guys from the area too. But so yeah, I found quite a bit of people that ended up making it into the top 20.
Okay.
Then some of those guys are from New York too, so I play those guys all the time anyway. I'm gonna play them. I'm gonna play them soon.
And Chad, if there's anybody you know that was able to get up there in the top 20, let us know. Because I don't. They haven't announced it yet, but they're gonna announce it at some point or another. Who were the people that actually got that far?
Yeah. Because they have to separate the board. Because I know some of the guys that are in the top 20, they were also testers for the game also. So they're still doing a separate leaderboard for them and a top 20 for the people who organically only played the beta.
Okay. My main things that I liked about the mechanics, I like the movement. I really did like in that game. It did feel kind of stiff, which is like the nature of new games and how smooth it goes over time. And this was just raw movement, not just the amount of time it takes to dash, cancel, and other movements. I did like that. The combo system didn't feel as restrictive as I initially thought after like a few hours of playing and applying it. And then just trying to open my mind up to the tag mechanics more. I'm trying to think. I know the animation was also a really good glow up from the premiere beta test for Invincible.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely looking a little jagged in the beginning, but they're smoothing it out. It's only getting better, I think. I think they're gonna do some more improvements as the game. I mean, it's getting close to crunch time now, but like, I think the game will look better as time goes on.
Yeah, like whatever it is that the game is right now, if this is what it's gonna look like at launch. I think for the most part, barring one or two things I see them tweaking later, it should be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
My main gripe I think that I have with it, that when I was trying to figure out more things that I was labbing, but in particular, was that I noticed that okay, there isn't like dash blocking in the game in force mechanics for a hyper fighter.
You could dash block in the game. You could because that's part of wave dashing is you forward cancel and you hold down back and you get blocked. Sometimes it's a little, it is a little weird, but it's there. I don't know if it's like Dragon Ball where you could do it on frame 1, where you could like immediately dash block. But
No, I didn't. No, I wasn't. I wasn't frame one. If you could do it, because I was trying to figure out
yeah,
how to do it. Because I know Skullgirls you can hold down back while dashing, and you can then block low during the initial frame of the dash. And
mm-hmm.
then UMC3 you can block frame one out of dash from up back.
Yeah,
And so that didn't. It didn't. If the mechanic is there in the game, then I guess it's just a different way of trying to do it, or you just have to just fine tune the timing.
yeah, maybe.
And then another thing I noticed with the thing that actually feels like a small flag is that nothing has block stun.
Yeah. That's very true. There's a lot of there's that's what makes push blocking weird. Also, is the fact that nothing has block stun. All the block stun timings are pretty strange.
Yeah, because like everything is safe on layering levels because like nothing has block stun, yet jabs are all universally 9 frames, and the grabs I think are like 5 frames. Like so, like blocking, it feels like you're just gonna be doing like at higher levels. It feels systemically like there's going to be more chicken blocking and push backing than trying to really block this or that, or just raw level 3 or super in the middle of
Yeah,
block
there's the alpha
streaks.
counter too. That's another mechanic that I feel like was pretty underutilized, but it's actually very, very strong. Is the alpha counter, the heroic strike. So you spend a bar, you get a guard cancel, and you can do that anytime. I mean, you don't have to. It's not a commitment thing either. Because you're the input I think is back and medium heavy if you're on standard. So like you don't have to let go of block or anything while you're holding block. You just press medium and heavy, and you'll do a guard cancel. And then if it hits, you could actually active switch into a full confirm. So it's
Damn.
pretty strong. Yeah. Of course you could play the counter attack mini game also, but it's still like something that you have to look out for. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. Like there's a lot of things that you could do on defense to mitigate a lot of this stuff. Because just going into the segueing into the third question, if anything felt unbalanced, I am not happy with how supers are in this game. Level ones are incredibly powerful. Like level ones in general, for most of the roster, um, everyone in the roster has 2 level ones. They have a forward level one and a back level one. For most of the roster, not every character, but most of the roster, one of their level ones has armor. So what you'll find is people will do reversal level ones to use the armor to abuse the armor. And if you bait it, or if you don't, if you don't take the bait on it, and you block the super generally is punishable. Like there is like it's like just punishable enough. Like the most level ones are -10, so you could get a jab punish. But some of them push back where you can't get that jab punish, or regardless of whether you can or can't. What's even worse is that you're allowed to active switch them on block. So you'll do a level one. The level one has armor, and then you'll hold active tag, and the level one will keep them in block stun. And your incoming character will either get a mix up or they'll get a true block string that's plus. So if you try to
Damn.
punish the level one, you'll actually get, you'll get frame trapped into the incoming assist block stun, or incoming assist block string rather, and you'll get full combo. So that was especially frustrating to fight. And there's a lot of people abusing that, and that's where I learned how strong the alpha counter is. Because to deal with that, if someone's just gonna incoming level one, you get a guaranteed alpha counter at that point because they're committing to the block string. So you do your alpha counter, you hit them, and then you get to confirm on them. But it's still super irritating that that's even a thing. And then the same thing with DPs also. Like Omni-Man's DP, there's no invincible reversals in the game, thankfully. But a lot of them, there's some that do have armor. So like Omni-Man has an armor DP. It's pretty much a short Iacon that has armor on it. But I think it's like -8 and he's airborne. So it's like he's safe. But like essentially he's safe. you can't punish him. So that's really irritating to deal with. It's stuff like that.
How the hell does he have a safe DP?
Yeah. So those are some of those are some of the questionable decisions about the game like that. That's really I don't know why that's the way it is. I feel like that should change. I'm more concerned about the level ones because the level ones can like especially if you do like Adam Eve level one, she could really lead into some ignorant stuff because her level one unblocks side switches, so she could switch sides and then you active switch and you
That's
just
why that
open
combo
yourself to
looks so weird.
shenanigans. Yeah.
Because I felt like I couldn't do like jack shit with her after like I spent hours trying to lab this chick because the more and more I kept trying to do her neutral.
Oh, she's busted, dude. She's actually very cracked. She has
Seriously?
Adam Eve. Yeah, she has like one of the strongest assists in the game. She's a fantastic mid character, and then even on point, she has some stuff where she could do full screen. She can do full screen wall splats that lead into a bunch of interesting things too. Like she's strong.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Because she struck me as being like a consistent character that could be like
weight flight and movement too. She
her
can be pretty
movement.
annoying.
Her movement I love, and the fact that she can stay in the air for like so long, she feels kind of like a bit of Magneto meets not Morgana, but
Morgan.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like airborne characters that usually stay airborne for like a good.
She's
good
pretty.
amount of time.
She reminds me of Storm a little bit.
Thank you. Okay, Storm.
Yeah.
MVC2.
She gives me a little bit of Storm vibes too. Like, so, like her zoning's really good. Her zoning's really slack. She does have like the icicle super.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. But no, she's very good. Especially so whenever her assists, it causes wall splat. And the assist, when you call her, the assist appears behind you. It's her back assist. So her back assist appears behind you. It hits you with like a projectile, and the projectile causes wall splat, and you get a free pickup. And it's pretty obnoxious to deal with.
Damn. Like, what are some teams that you've seen with Adam Eve? Because I know I've seen Sonic Fox's clip, and it gives get like a hell of a lot of nice ideas based off of like how reset heavy she could potentially be, and I can tell he's taken a lot out of like he's basically playing her like Cetreon.
Yeah, I got a good show with Adam Eve. Would probably be like Adam Eve robot, where it's like a really zone heavy shell where you play really lame and you defensively put a bunch of stuff on the screen. Adam Eve and Monster Girl work really well together too because of Monster Girl's armor and then that projectile assist, you got armor, and then while you armor, you call that projectile assist out, and then you just become a fortress. Like you try to hit, you hit into the armor, the projectile assist launches you, like crumples you rather, and now you're getting into full combo. So it's like that, like stuff like that is really obnoxious to deal with. But you could put her with anybody, dude. Like that assist is working miracles. So if you got a character that just needs help with an assist, like her assist is it's bar none, like probably like top 3 assists in the game.
I could co-sign on that.
Strong.
You're talking about a projectile-based assist that does go full screen.
Mm-hmm.
So that instantly puts it up there in order to help with screen control and literal like linear navigation without needing to go into the air, just straightforward. Or if you're in the air, it also comes at an angle downward. So it covers two points of a screen and a potential blind spot of a screen. And chat, if you guys know hyper fighters and tag fighters, having beams or projectiles is like really, really strong for screen control.
Oh, she also has her charge dive kick causes hard knockdown. It's really strong. So that's something you got to be mindful of when she's like 80 feet in the air off screen, and then you just you're blocking an assist, and then you try to move and you get hit with an overhead dive kick, and now you're hard knockdown. That's something to consider. Like she has a lot. She has a lot of tools.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. Did the pacing of fights feel right?
Yes, I enjoyed the pacing of the fights. Whatchamacallit, there are some matchups that are definitely kind of hard, but they didn't feel unwinnable. Like Battle Beast against the Zoners is pretty rough. Battle Beast against Adam Eve or a robot is pretty hard to deal with, but once you're in, man, it's so rewarding. because he just hits like a truck. He's so cool. The pacing of like the way the fights go too, like as far as playing the mini game and stuff, trying to keep your team alive and everything. It feels good. I like the way the fights are paced. They don't feel terribly short, and they feel like there's a lot. Again, the way the game is designed, it's designed to have a lot of interaction, so you always feel like you're playing in the game. It never feels like there's a dull moment in the fight. Even fights like one at a time, it's mostly because I lost track of time. You know what I mean? Like we were engaged. We were so engaged with the fight itself that we just didn't pay attention to the clock. So
Okay.
pretty cool.
Next, a question. Going into characters and playstyles. Which characters stood out the most to you and why?
Um, Personally, Battle Beast has always been a favorite of mine since the first beta. Um, just an incredibly well designed character, pretty cool. He's a brawler type. He doesn't really have a command grab. He does have an anti-air super that's really good, but he's mostly his fighting type is just hit hard and rush down. He has armored specials, so his boosted specials all have armor on them, and they all do really good damage, and most of them are combo starters. So that's kind of his game plan. With assists, he has access to a lot. He also has access. He's the only one in the game who has hard knockdown on a throw, which is very strong. So on his forward throw, he actually causes hard knockdown. I think he's plus 102, if I remember correctly. And he gets free setup. He can do whatever he wants. So whether high low, left right, or jump over, call assists and sandwich, he does stuff like that off of his forward throw. So that yeah. Only like I said, only character in the game with a hard knockdown throw. Me and Steve looked after we found it. um, and then he also has his medium buttons can be charged. You hold them down, and his medium buttons get armor. His standing medium causes hard knockdown plus 98, so you can still do whatever you want. And his crouching medium, you charge, also has armor, and that one is a launcher. So if you get hit with that low, it combos into an overhead swing that causes a sliding knockdown, and you get to pick up, and you get a full confirm.
Damn.
Really fun character, yeah. Other characters that stood out to me are Robot. Robot's pretty cool. I never played him, but Steve plays him, and I like a lot of the stuff that he's doing with them.
Robot's combos feel so sector-like, and I love that.
Yeah. That's the thing. He has hidden missile assist, which everyone loves that. He has access to hidden missiles. Beam super is really good. Beam super is funny because it causes so much chip, and you could just be super obnoxious with it. It's safe. So again, like safe level 1. And then if you want, you could even active switch if you really want to, but like most times you don't even have to. A lot of the characters feel cool. Whatchamacallit? I think Omni-Man is pretty cool too. Like the Viltrimites are very strong in their own right. Thula is like the Dawson of the game. Whatchamacallit? I guess we're leaning into the second question too. Like I feel like all the characters are very unique in that regard. Like I know a lot of the concern was like all the Viltrumites that were in the game, but they're all so different.
I can see why some people will probably have an adverse against that because like you have a lot more of one class in the game, or like arc or species, archetype, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Same thing you could vouch for like in Injustice or in Mortal Kombat if you just pop in a whole bunch of Superman clones.
Right.
But each one is different in their own way.
I get the fear with that.
Like you got the punchy style, which is of course Omni-Man style. You have the pokey combo style that's kind of with a not really it's kind of a spacing based character that's also rushed down, but not with hands. It's with a blade-ish kind of, and with legs. That's kind of how Thula plays. And so I wouldn't be surprised to introduce other Viltrumites, and you have those that are probably going to be like a grappler base maybe, or just another grappler
so
based
Lucan, in the other beta there was Lucan. He's whatchamacallit? He's a grappler style Viltrumite. He doesn't even have air dash, or he has 8-way float movement, kind of like Adam Eve a little bit.
So what's his name?
And Lucan. Whatchamacallit? But he's a grappler style, and he's really cool. He has 8-way float movement. Yeah, him
Oh,
with the big belly.
I didn't know this guy was. So this guy was actually in the game.
Not in this beta, no.
Oh, he was in the
In
first
the other
beta.
one. Yeah.
So he might be a base roster.
He's gonna be base roster. Yeah, they announced him already. They showed his trailer and his gameplay footage and everything. Anissa's another one that's gonna be on the base roster. She's really cool. She's more of she's kind of like the brawler style, but she has Viltrimite movement and she's very rushdown based.
I had a feeling because she feels like her movement. From what I've seen in the show, I haven't seen the trailer for it unless it's on the website. She could probably be a Supergirl clone.
A little bit. So her thing is she has a Rekka style move. It's not a Rekka, but it's like a 3-hitting special move that causes crumple. That's gonna be pretty strong. And she can teleport back. Like she has a teleporting special too. It's kind of like the Viltrimite knife hand that she could side switch with and she could extend with too. And then she also has access to like the Omni-Man in Mortal Kombat 1, the Viltrimite stance.
Yes.
Anissa has that. Like she'll go into a Viltrimite stance, she'll go into like a floating stance, and then she can dodge and she could go through projectiles with one of the Viltrimite like stance moves. So that's kind of her thing. So like and then Thula is like the awesome. We talked about Thula already, where she has like the really long normals, the blades, and she could combo you from far away. She could bring you in or keep you out. So that's also pretty cool. I like the way they designed Monster Girl too. Monster Girl's another brawler type character, but she has armor on her normals, and she's interesting enough. She has armor on her boosted dash. So if you do boosted dash with Monster Girl, that approach it's an armored approach, and it's really hard to deal with sometimes.
Damn, I ain't gonna lie. With Monster Girl, they really pulled no punches in making a Broly clone. I tell you what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good comparison, actually. Yeah.
Which actually kind of that does the character justice. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. For overpowered, I feel like Mark's a little overtuned. Mark is, I mean, he's the main character, but Mark is definitely he's that guy. Let me see who else is. I'm gonna pull up the roster real quick. See.
Sure. Because right now the roster, I just had my hand on it not that long ago. Yeah, here we go. 24 hours. So the 10 characters that were on roster for beta: Mark, Eve, what's his name? Thula, Rexplosion, Alan, Monster Girl, Robot, Battle Beast, Omni-Man, and then you said they introduced they have Anissa and Lucan as coming in later on for base roster.
They're gonna be coming in later. Yeah, they had a little
That's 12.
It was like with Maximilian Dude and them. They had like a an exhibition kind of thing on the Invincible stream.
Yeah.
Where they showed them off. Whatchamacallit. For as far as overpowered or overtuned, I just think like Mark and Omni-Man were like the MVPs of this beta. they were doing a lot. Even Monster Girl to a degree, she's kind of crap, but I don't think she's overtuned. I think because Monster Girl is another one of the brawler types that gets shot. Like if she gets dealt with the wrong shell, like she could definitely be kept out, and it's really hard for her to get in and approach, get her game plan started.
Right, and so with a game like this, if they keep the Mortal Kombat ideology, she could still keep a lot of that ignorant shit just to make sure she has a counter option for dealing with those shells that are like very oppressive in keep out game.
Mm-hmm. So
I think Alan, the Alien, and Battle Beast and Monster Girl, those three, in my opinion, I think are like the really big takeaways of the beta.
Yeah. The only one that I felt was pretty underwhelming were Bulletproof and Rexplode. But I feel like with both of them, they're a little bit there's more to them than what it appears than what we were able to get like tap into the beta. I think they need time to be discovered.
Yeah,
I think they need time to be fleshed out. Especially Rexplode. More so Rexplode is my concern because on what we saw in the beta, or at least what I saw in the beta, really didn't impress me too much. But I feel like when I did find like a good Rexplode, and they were able to synergize with their assists and everything. He puts a lot of stuff on the screen, and he can make a lot of things happen. But it's just his movements awkward, his normals are awkward. But he's another one of the roster that has access to an instant overhead too, so he can get pretty tricky. So I think there's room for potential for bulletproof. I'm not really sure what the plan is with him. He's a little awkward too, but I feel like he's a lot more straightforward and he has less ceiling than Rexplode. So I feel like he's gonna cap out pretty quickly. I feel like
his playstyle feels like a watered down version of what Mark's trying to do, but with
literally,
like
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So if they took the Street Fighter approach, I think he's basically trying to be the guy to Rio.
Yeah, that's fair to say. I think that's fair to say. But yeah, he's definitely worse Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
How many characters are they trying to have on base roster at launch? Because
there's a lot actually. For base roster, we have the 10 in the beta. Base roster's also going to include, so there's Mark, Thula, Bulletproof, Atomy, Rexplode, Omni-Man. We've already seen these. Battle Beast. Cecil's going to be base roster. He's another zoner.
Oh yeah, that's 13. Okay, Cecil.
Yep. Then there's Anissa and Lucan. Powerplex is going to be base roster. He's actually interesting. I'm very interested in playing him too.
Let me look that up.
So he's a just frame kind of character. So what his gimmick is he has access to his special moves, but he'll flash, and when you press the special button again on the flash, it'll give him access to an enhanced special move. So for one of his special moves is a fireball, and if you hit the just frame on it, it'll actually pop up and become a launcher if it hits. And then the same thing with he has a lariat that kind of does the same thing, where a regular lariat, it's kind of unsafe on block, but if you hit the just frame, it'll hit and it'll pop him up for a combo. And then on top of that, he has those enhanced normal specials. His boosted specials are different. You can't just frame the boosted specials, but they have different properties altogether. So essentially, he has access to 3 more specials than the rest of the roster, based off the way that he's designed. So it's really cool how they did him conceptually. I'm really looking forward to it. And that's another one that's going to take some time to discover and optimize. And I think
feels like I'm curious on what his playstyle is going to be, because looking at his schematics here, this feels like Firestorm.
A little bit, yeah. But
just pray that it's not a zone.
He has a lariat. Yeah, he has dive kick. He has a lariat. He has a fireball. What else does he have? I think those are the big 3 specials.
That's already sounding better than Firestorm, because Firestorm, nobody wanted to try and sit there and deal with a zoner that just also has a DP that he can confirm off of.
Another character that's going to be on launch is Dupli Kate. She looks really promising. She has the young Genjitsun.
Oh, Titan was another one I was thinking of.
And then Titan, Elemental, and Conquest are going to be base roster.
Hang on, wasn't Elemental and Conquest, those were the first packs of the DLC, or those were also all base roster?
These are all base roster, as far as I know.
Hang on, so Titan. Okay, I remember.
For DLC, the first 2 characters are gonna be Universa and what's his name? Immortal.
God damn.
Those are the first 2 characters for the DLC.
I was already disappointed. I guess I got the disappointment out of the way with him. That's fine. That's fine.
For sure.
And Chad, it's not that it's only natural that Mr. Immortal would be in the Invincible game. It's just that he's a beautiful letdown of a character for a godlike.
For the rest of the roster that's in there, you know what I mean? Man, the fact that the Mauler Twins didn't make it is kind of criminal to me. I'm not gonna lie. I wish the Mauler Twins were in the game.
Take a lookie. So Mauler Twins. Oh,
these guys would be so cool in the game.
And they could do it. I'm curious how they would do that with their own mechanic outlined with this in a game like this, because they could do one or the other, or they could have a Maids thing in Melty Blood where they can do a tag.
I think it'd be more like a Maids thing. I feel like that'd be the best way to approach it. Maybe they could do it like the Maids, where you pick one or the other, or you have both of them, and then you know what I mean. That'd be a cool way to kind of approach it. But I feel like the natural order is you play as both of them. I feel like that'd be the right way to play them, because they have access to all their ray guns and all their gadgets and stuff, and they're still super strong because they're just big beefy dudes.
And then you said Duplicate. I'm not surprised to see her here. That does make sense. I'm just curious. She never really struck me as like a full-on fighter, so I'm curious how they're gonna.
Oh,
How
she
they're
looks
gonna make
so
her
cool,
work.
dude. She have you played King of Fighters? You know Chizuru, where she sends out the clones? She's kind of like that.
I
Uh,
I haven't played King of Fighters, but I do know of it.
yeah. So there's a character Chizuru where she sends out like shadow clones, or kind of like Chip in Guilty Gear, where where they send out a shadow clone, and then the shadow clone doesn't attack, and then she kind of like confirms off of that. Um, and then she also has the Yun, the third strike Yun, the Genjutsu, where her like she fucking enhances as a super, and she just becomes a party time character for 10 seconds.
Oh damn! Hang on, I'm looking at Duplicate's combo outline now. This is actually kind of nice.
It's so cool. She is such a cool character.
She's like her own self combo.
Mm-hmm.
Her fighting style does give me like a lot of Chun-Li vibes, and yeah, a little bit of like KOF like combo structure with like her starters because they're starting from the low. They're starting from reach, so it's going into like whiff punish setup is what I'm probably looking at.
Yeah, she looks so cool. Beating the crap out of Lucan. So this is another potential that I was kind of looking at too. I don't have, so like my team is gonna be Battle Beast, Anissa, and another. I just don't know who's gonna fill that third slot yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of clean. Okay, so duplicate what I said. Immortal, Powerplex, Titan. What was another one?
um,
Shrinking Ray
you know,
wasn't going to be in here. I don't imagine.
no, not on launch. She
Okay.
hasn't been announced. Yeah, might be DLC. That wouldn't be a bad DLC, but that'd be interesting. She'd kind of be like Adam.
That's literally what I was thinking about. Is literally just
Yeah,
the Atom because that's like the most annoying character in Injustice. If
yeah.
you know chat, you know. Like oh my
But
gosh.
whatchamacallit, Elemental Conquest, Titan, Powerplex, Lucan, and this Universa is the other character on the season pass. She doesn't have, I don't think she has any gameplay out yet. I think they just showed a picture of her render. But I'm excited to see how she plays. She has in the show she has an electric staff. She's kind of like whatchamacallit. She looks a little bit like Aquaman, low key, because she has the trident, but there's electricity on it too. So
Hmm. I am probably spelling it wrong, but
oh, Elemental. It's a first and last name, so it's Ella Space Mental.
oh oh got it. All right,
Yeah.
Ella Mental.
She's like the Cetreon of the game. Like she has rock wall. She has a fireball that when you boost the fireball, it essentially becomes my fan. So that's really interesting.
I just got the
she
visual
has
now. Oh my god. Yeah,
she has
that's
geyser.
Cetreon. This is
Uh
literally
huh.
Cetreon coming in. Okay.
Yeah. So she from what it looks like, from what they got her looking like, she looks like a very set play based character. Like she puts a lot of stuff in the way. Um I don't know. I don't particularly. I know people that would be interested in playing her and playing that kind of character. I just don't have a particular interest in playing her. She doesn't feel like it's my play style.
If she does feel like Cetreon, I think she would be a backup pick. A lot of people would probably have. She just wouldn't have a main board pick.
Yeah,
That's literally the same vibes that she had because she was a character that nobody really mained per se, and so because nobody really mained her, she inadvertently kind of ducked a lot of balance patches because nobody took the time to like explore her enough to have her like win a competitive aspect. And so if that's the thing here, that could probably have the spelling on the wall for her. So her kit's probably going to be pretty well rounded to deal with a decent amount of the cast for probably a zoner, anti-zoner that still has good
yeah,
combo setup potential. And then set play brain and set play potential like what you're talking about.
yeah. The Maya fan is pretty dastardly, especially in a game like this. To lock him down with a projectile like that.
Yeah. But that was like a good 16, 17-ish characters that we named, and there's still some more probably that we haven't even thought of yet, chat.
I know we're getting forward with the season pass, so.
Oh, hey, gamer guy,
And,
welcome in. Is the game still up for beta? No, you can still access the beta in terms of going into lab, but you can't access the game to play anymore.
Oh, can you lab still? I thought they turned it off.
I thought you could. Because I remember there was an update that came in. I remember like a couple hours after 5 o'clock, I could still go in and still like lab a little bit. If that changed today, then I probably would. I would knock it. But
Yeah, I'm not so sure because normally when they update the updates to let you know the game is over.
yeah. So probably on the safe side, gamer guy. It probably is. It's closed for play for sure. But you may still be able to get in the lab. I don't know, but you probably may not be able to do that. How was your experience on playing the game? Let me know. Next question. Were there any clear overpowered? Actually, we did kind of inadvertently answer this in terms of going over like overpowered or underwhelming characters. Next question was, in following that, did any character feel especially satisfying or annoying to play against?
Oh man, the zoners, man. My team gets shot. My team in the beta didn't do well against the zoners. Because I played for the beta because of I don't have access to Anissa and another. I played Bulletproof, Thula, and Battle Beast, which is a really good team once they're in. But if they're out, man, they get shot. They do not do well with shooters. So
Damn.
like the Adam Eves, the Rexplodes, and the robots, they were doing it to me. But like the satisfying part is though, once you get in with that team though, they maul. They're all phenomenal. Once they're in, but closing that gap, especially like later in when people were getting comfortable with the zoning and stuff, when the keep out, closing that gap was very hard.
I heard Rexplode and Bulletproof were good. Bulletproof was a really good example of like something different to pivot from a comparable playstyle. His playstyle is like a notch down from the main character's playstyle. Mark, how Mark plays, it's like a couple notches down from that, and how you do the same type of combo and formula reward for his kit. Rexplode, the way his explosion things work and set up into the field, it feels kind of Robin-like if you played Injustice. The way that Robin sets up, it's works very similar to this, but the combo reward for the setup is way better on Rex than it is on Robin. So Rexplode, I think, is like a really good character to take a look at, and he wasn't really explored that much. I didn't see a lot of people that explored with him, but the few that I did that actually were like doing stuff with Rex, his combo stuff looks sexy. Like it could be really, really damaging in the right
He has
team
really cool
hands.
BMBs, yeah. His combo structure is really cool.
Let's see. Next question. Let me see here. I know we went over like how the matchmaking and the queue time was. Did you experience any lag or connection issues across any of those sessions?
In game, not particularly. No. If you filter the connections well, I mean, because I don't accept Wi-Fi matches, not often anyway. In the beta, I did a little bit, but after a couple that soured my experience, I just stopped accepting Wi-Fi.
Fair.
Yeah, but once I filtered those guys out, it was fine. Every game was playable. Every game was great. I didn't see any, like overall there were no desyncs, which I think is really huge for a rollback beta. So that's cool. Um, and then connection issues only happened like intermittently. Like there were some times where we would hard disconnect. And of course, if someone rage quit, but like outside of rage quits, if someone disconnect and you got the notification where the game just disconnected, that happened for a little bit during a really late night session in the beta. But once I restarted the game, that didn't really happen at all. So it felt pretty good.
Okay. What's your question, gamer guy? What other characters could they add to the game? Actually, just a couple minutes before you came in, that's exactly the thesis that me and Juan were talking about. because there was 10 characters in the beta that you could access. Let me see if I can pull that up, because one of the characters that they're adding in for main roster that was not in the beta, that's who I have up on stream now, Dupli Kate. She's going to be in the main roster. What else was there? Adam Eve was one I've been looking at. They got a lot of Adam Eve thirst here for some reason, which doesn't surprise me. Here we go. So
that's the beta roster, yeah.
So this was the beta roster. You got Mark, Battle Beast, Omni-Man, Eve, Bulletproof, Robot, Monster Girl.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters they could add. Potentially, Angstrom would be a cool add. The Mauler Twins would be great. Doc Seismic, the dinosaur dude would be pretty sick.
Never heard of that dude until someone mentioned the comic shit. It's like a big red dinosaur.
Yeah, he's in the new season. He's had an episode already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Angstrom. Let's take a look at Angstrom.
Yeah, stuff a little with the brain, the giant brain. He'd be cool.
Levi. Oh, this guy. Okay, the brainiac-y guy.
Volcanica would be cool.
I see her coming. That character looks super, super good for a game like this.
Then the other devil dudes would be cool too. Damien Darkblood in them.
Yep.
They'd be really sick. There's a lot of characters they could add to the game.
Yeah, it's like there's still like I'm just curious like what the main outline's gonna
be. They didn't even put we still have Oliver. They could put Oliver in the game.
Type of
Tech Jacket, yeah, that's Tech Jacket. Tech Jacket would be really cool.
Tech Jacket, Larry. Let's take a lookie. Tech Jacket.
She's like a Blue Beetle.
Oh. Hang on. Oh, okay. So it's like a suit that kind of, huh?
It's a smart suit, yeah. So like it's just like the Blue Beetle suit.
Oh hell yeah! If they could get away with like a good Blue Beetle design, just like what they did in Injustice 2, they had like a lot of like super fucked up mix that was like cool to see. Yeah, they could put this character in the game and do the same shit. Okay, I could see a Tech Jacket.
So like the suit and concept is like Blue Beetle, where it's like a smart suit that like builds the unit. Conquest is gonna be on launch. Conquest is on the roster already.
Thragg, I don't see them adding right away. Thragg, I see is probably going to be like a later thing, if that. Yeah, for that reason, because if his stuff is similar to Omni-Man, just more aggressive, then it would be just like a Sonic and Shadow situation where you just have A or B, where they both do the same thing. It's just one.
They could either make him like an Omni-Man skin. That'd be a way to approach it, kind of like how they did like Black Lightning and Raiden and stuff like that, or like Supergirl and Power Girl.
Good thinking. I didn't think about that.
Or they could just get creative too. Like, it doesn't have to be 1-to-1 with the comic or show. Like, all of Bulletproof's moves, I've never seen him do in the comics or show. I'm gonna be so real with you. Like that little Sonic the Hedgehog shit he does, I've never seen him do that a day in my life. You know what I mean? So they can get creative.
Yeah.
They should add Debbie. All right.
Let's see.
Be really funny. Debbie is just a mom. This is Mark's mom. Yeah.
Oh.
She's just a regular human.
Oh no, I wish. No, that's like the Chi-Chi argument. Which would be nice, but what's she doing? I mean, at least with the Chi-Chi argument, okay, she was a past world fighter. Next question. Did the game, even though it didn't have that, did the game encourage rematches and longer sets?
Not in this iteration, no. Ranked was just first to 2. Encourage rematches. I know people rematch me. There's quite a few one and dones, but once the top 20 contest was over, people played sets out. It was a lot better.
Okay.
The top 20 contest really encouraged a lot of belligerence. That's why a lot of people were rage quitting, or they were like they were just one and doneing. It's because they wanted to get on the top 20. Once that contest was over, it was a lot more palatable.
Oh no, even there's a few of them that I clipped here that even when they were in top 20, there were some of them that were literally just quitting in order to keep the status.
Yeah, yeah. So that was kind of a bummer. Beyond that,
Yeah, I got that here in a couple things, and I'll keep the clips here for you guys later on because I'll probably show those later on if we come back around to the quitting sets. Brain, the quitting segment thing. Because I think for in my case in my sentiment to it, I think it does encourage rematches in some longer sets. I don't think it encourages like genuinely like very long sets, but it does encourage lengthy sets.
yeah, that's something we're gonna have to see day one because matchups are important in this game. There are very clearly some pretty polarizing matchups that people are gonna want to learn and people are gonna play out.
Okay. Next question, going into the meta and the competitive potential aspect. And the first two I crossed off because it's not really palatable to see a meta form from the beta per se, because as much as I can see that there's like good ignorant shit in the beta, there's also one or two counter Mickey ignorant things too that also seem to be like good counter measures to deal with
Yeah,
those things if you do it right or you lab it correctly. So, what kind of player do you think will stick with this game long term?
someone who really enjoys tag fighters and creative combos. Whatchamacallit? A As long as there's continued support, as long as they patch the game and they take care of the really big problems, I think people in general will stick with this game long term because it's a fun game. Again, like on the surface, it looks on the surface it is very pick up and play, but there is a lot of depth and a lot of uniqueness to the game that no other game is really providing right now. So I think and in general, the people who enjoy tag games and tag fighters, and not just Marvel, but like any tag fighter, I think they'll stick with this game out long term.
Okay. Um. Yeah, I can ask this question. Yeah, do you see the game having esports potential?
Nothing massive. I don't think it's big enough. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like
So
combat. I don't think it's gonna be like Combat League big, but I think it'll be fairly sizable for its
I feel
IP.
like we're gonna get a good first year. I think we're gonna get like maybe one or two tours, and they're not gonna be $1 million tours, but I think we'll get one or two tours that have a really decent price support. But beyond that, I can't imagine. I'd be really impressed if there was a third year of a tour. I'd be impressed if there was a second year tour, maybe so real. But
Yeah,
I just don't think there's enough. Team games are hard. I think team games are already a niche within the FGC.
I agree.
Um, so
Because if you look
just
at
off
a
that
couple of
alone, I think it'd be really
generations,
hard to have longer than 2 years of tour support.
I believe that. Because like Chad, if you look at the history of tag fighters in our scene, like effectively speaking, there's across two generations, there's like a total of 8. This one would be the ninth. There's like 8 total tag-based games that are out there right now. Not counting MVC. You can count if you count MVC as two separate things, then you could debate 9 or possibly 10. But I count it as one whole thing because Marvel vs. Capcom is one whole thing that
Like a
basically,
franchise, yeah.
yeah, that defined the tag fighter going forward into the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
Because like 2XKO and this game are kind of at the doorstep of the current tag generation, the next gen, as opposed to Blaze Blue and Fighters literally from the preceding. With the show going on, it's making it more popular. Yeah, so if it plays its cards right with DLC, updates, tours, and proper exposure, but not trying to like homogenize like the grassroots ideology versus the company ideology, like that's going to be the hard part there, and trying to balance that out without polarizing smaller scenes for not having the investment that people want, trying to sit there and chase the dollar over chasing the scene and the support. That's going to be the hard part for them if they can try and learn from Mortal Kombat's shortcomings. But yeah, as long as the IP is popular right now, and since the game picked right now to come out and make its debut, it is in the perfect position to do whatever it is going to do while the spotlight is literally on that IP.
I think it's a good time for the game, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really, with everything happening right now, yeah, for sure.
Next question is, aside from that question, do you see the game going long term? Because that's the one thing I've also, before I go into progression and replayability, do you see the game going long term? That's the main issue that I've noticed with a couple
It'd be
of
hard.
games coming out right now with the appeasement
Genuinely
process.
speaking, yeah, it's kind of hard. It honestly depends on how they manage the game, how the company manages the game, because there's a lot of potential. There's plenty of potential here. I think what they have as a start is really good, and there's like limitless potential for it to get only better from here. And if it does get better, I think there's a lot of longevity to be had. Um, will this be the next Street Fighter? Probably not. Um, but like I get if the game gets 3 years, I think that'd be solid. I think if they keep with updates and they keep pace with the show, I think it'll go as long as the show's going on. I think that's a fair thing to say. As long as they keep as long as the show's happening and they keep supporting the game alongside the show, I think there'll always be new people kind of funneling in to check it out, especially if they add characters from new episodes or new seasons as the game goes along. So it does have that going for it.
Yeah, and then the growing IP can kind of help the game through the front door of like a growing popularity and solidarity in the gaming realm. And then even if the show stops or the IP stops, then the game kind of has enough gas underneath of it in order to still keep going on its own accord if the game and updating and the sizing out of the roster is done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. Were there incentives that kept you engaged, like unlocks as we go
Oh man, I
along?
wanted to. So I did want to be in the top 20. I'm not gonna. I just didn't have enough time. If I had time, I definitely would have been there grinding with the rest of those guys, man. I don't think top 98 was too bad, but I really wanted that top 20.
I still think taking it right under 100, I think is still pretty clean.
So, but yeah, that definitely kept me going. What else? No, unlike it's a beta, so there wasn't a whole lot as far as costumes and unlocking or anything concerned. There were ranks. I didn't realize it until the end, but there were ranks. You just had to look at your profile to see what rank you were. But I don't know all of the ranks. But yeah, it kept me going. The game itself is fun, so the game itself kept me going more than the game mode.
Okay.
I was playing the game because the game was fun.
Yeah. For me, I know it was something really refreshing. It was something new. It was a mix of a lot of different games that I played before for many years, and so I just stayed on and just kept going in order to just learn it as I went. And before I know it, 30 minutes ended up being 4 hours. Next question. Yeah. Did matches feel rewarding even when you lost?
Yeah, most times I lost it was because I felt it was my fault. Just a new gimmick, a new something I never seen before. Like there's a tie game, so you're gonna get frauded out sometimes. It just is what it is. Comes with the territory. And then so it's a new game, so everyone's doing cheap shit. Everyone's doing stuff you don't really understand. And then even beyond like learning the game, like once you start playing the mechanics out, stuff like counterattack and stuff. Like I said, I think the counterattack really makes the game super engaging. So just like putting it all on raw tag and seeing what happens from there is so sick to me.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Before we go, so we have a question here. He asks, what is your type of games?
My type of games, I play everything. I'm pretty well versed. I just enjoy fighting games in general. As far as what I've been playing a lot lately, I'm actively competing in Tekken and Guilty Gear. I would say those are my most practiced games right now. But in my earlier fighting game career, my main game, I played a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters and Mortal Kombat, and I just kind of shifted around to everything else. I mainly go where my friends go, and I just go to what I think is fun at the time, you know. Typically, my background as a whole, I'm an NRS player, so I usually play Mortal Kombat and everything. Um, but as of late, I just been switching and jumping around, trying a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm a huge fan of Tekken and Guilty Gear right now, though, and Invincible versus. I'm gonna play this a lot too when it comes out. I miss a team game.
Okay. Next question. Going into the beta versus the full release expectations. Also, as I go, chat, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to ask away, and we can also pivot in order to ask while we're going through. What are the biggest issues that need fixing before launch?
There has to be if Rage Quit because obviously because of this IP, we're attracting a lot more of a casual audience. If there's gonna be Rage Quits the way that they're happening now, there has to be a Rage Quit penalty. And I think it needs to be more than losing rank points. Because if they're rage quitting in casual matches too, that's not going to be good either. So I feel like if you rage quit too many times, like how Tekken was, what Tekken will do is if you rage quit too many times, it'll actually block you from queuing up for like an X amount of time. So something like a time gated penalty where it's like, all right, you rage quit way too much, bro. Take 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like just hold that. We need something like that. Um, as far as features feel missing, the entire game. It was just a ranked beta. But I can't really quote on missing features because we don't really know what features are in the game yet. You know what I mean? I know there's going to be ranked and casual matches. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of lobby system. But once we get hands on the full game, I'll know. I'll have a better answer to that question. But as far as the stuff that needs to be fixing, um, I don't know if they talked about this, but like as far as balancing goes, I'm not too sure how they would approach it. Outside of balance, I guess it would be because we talked about balance earlier. Mechanically, like gameplay wise, I just think the rage quit timer is the biggest thing. Rage quit penalty, and I think I guess more training mode features would be cool too. Being able to set like replay slots,
I think that would be
and then
nice.
fixing some of the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, so I think that would be nice, like taking a node from Tekken where you can like set up replays or have the bot
Yeah.
do specific types of formulas and set up in order to understand like how to move around.
Hopefully, there's some kind of form of replay because replays weren't in the beta either. So hopefully, there's some kind of. I know there is a replay system because there's a tab for replays. Like when you go to your fighter profile, you just couldn't access it because it was a beta. But I'm hoping there's some kind of because replay takeover will be really huge, especially in a tag-based game where there's so much nuance, there's so much that could there's so much variance between playstyles and between setups. Replay takeover would be really huge for this game. I would like that. And those are the main things I think.
Okay.
Oh, some of the flashing effects. So I don't know if you got this, but a lot of supers and stuff. There's a lot of flashing lights and a lot of artifacts on the screen that just kind of looked a little jank. I feel like that could be.
Actually, I noticed that with I know Eve Super and like one or two others. I noticed that, so
Yeah, the super flashes would go crazy. I'll be like, whoa, that could be cleaned up a little bit before launch.
yeah, that could be like a whole like seizure thing that comes back around.
Mm-hmm. For sure, definitely flashing lights warning.
Yep. Next question. How confident are you in the developers improving things by the release or through the release week?
They're very vocal. I remember the first day they were having issues actually getting people. Like I remember the first day there was an issue with placement matches. Like you would finish your placement matches, but then you wouldn't get placed. They fixed that issue very quickly, like within the hour, I think. So if they're that aggressive with stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like if they stay on top of it, and then they also they added the rage quit penalty, where whatchamacallit, when people rage quit, they would lose points.
Mhm.
That was added really quickly too. So as long as they're that proactive with issues and concerns, I'm pretty confident they'll fix a lot by release. I feel like by the time the game comes out, we'll have a very solid and stable product.
Okay. What's your question, gamer guy? Do you think there are all are past characters as in dead characters? So wait, is your question like, do you think they're going to put in on the roster characters that died in the series?
I don't see why they wouldn't. They could.
Yeah, they could do that. Marvel does that in a handful of their things. Injustice
Yeah, but I
did
say
do
Joker
that.
was there in Injustice too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Joker that was the catalyst for the whole Injustice hierarchy technically died at the beginning of Injustice 1. That's telling you the Injustice Lord story on how Superman killed him and then set the whole chain reaction off. And then the Joker you're playing as in the first one is technically the other world's Joker, our Joker, not the base Joker. He got transported there in the middle of a fumble and then just kind of fucked around and found out. And then in Injustice 2, he wasn't going to be base roster. He was DLC. No,
he's
no, not
he's like
DLC,
Harley Quinn's
unlockable character.
nightmare.
Yeah. He was an unlockable character, but he wasn't a base roster character. He was an unlockable character. No, not words. No, he was a base roster character, but he was
base roster, yeah.
unlockable. Not you just couldn't play him immediately. That's all. Let's see here. Next thing here, as we go into the last few pieces here, and we can take a small look into some of the hot takes here. What's one thing that you would improve on the game based off of your impression, your takeaway from the beta?
What happened? I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, I said for the hot take, what is one thing that you would instantly change to improve the game based off of what the beta's impression was?
I would that level 1 change. That would be that's op number 1 is making supers punishable. If I block a raw super, I should nuke you. You should get nuked.
I agree. I totally agree.
That is my biggest hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take, but that is my biggest take off playing the beta.
No, that's a viable hot take because 2XKO nipped that in the ass by making supers do whatever type of dumbass scaling, but you can actually just poke the people out of that. So that supers not having armor is one way in order to counteract it. So if they wake up and press a button, if you were already in the middle of the activation process for your play, you're still gonna smoke them anyways.
Yeah.
The only way it wouldn't happen is if lag happened.
Another hot take is, man, what kind of hot take would I have? What's a good hot take? Actual hot take. Yo, put armor back on Battle Beast back assist. That would go crazy. We don't need that, but we need that.
That would be a check. That would be a hell of a pairing with a Monster Girl or against a Monster Girl matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And then you personally, what's the most satisfying moment you had?
Oh, I have the match. Well, I don't have it handy. I have to clip it. But there was a match where I fought this guy and I felt like I was mind controlling him, man. Every time I raw tag, he would burst, and I would bait the burst, and I would relaunch him, and I would raw tag again. Did the same thing, baited the burst, and then I raw tagged again. He didn't burst, and I didn't bait the burst, so I was able to keep the combo. I was mind controlling this dude for like the entire set. It was hysterical. That was one of my most satisfying matches, for sure, bar none. It felt so good.
That sounds like an awesome game. Was that from your stream?
Yes, it was on stream. It was on stream.
Okay. All right, well, viewers, that'll bring us to the end of my general template here for the Invincible versus beta assessment and discussion take. But before we do go, I want to go on ahead and I want to leave you with this closing reflection. Ouch. Welcome in. Thank you with the follow. Is in one sentence out there, how would you describe the Invincible beta experience? What score would you want to give it as a beta versus the possibility of its potential full release?
All right. One sentence. Beta was an incredible amount of fun. That's how I would describe the experience. I had a great time. As a score, it was pretty bare bones. I wish there was a couple more characters. I wish there was a little bit more to do as far as looking at replays and stuff. So as a beta, I give it a 3 out of 5 because the game was fun. But out of just missing those little bit of features is, kind of a bummer. But I get it. They wanted to stress the network and stuff, so I get it. A 3 out of 5. I think the game itself was very good, and the beta itself was a lot of fun. For potential full release, sky's the limit. Like I'm very excited for this game to come out. I'm gonna play it a lot when this game comes out. Gotta lean on a 4. Lean on a 4 for right now. If there's if there's replay takeover, it's gonna get automatic 5 for me. If there's replay takeover, that's kind of all I'm looking for. But
I don't blame
beyond
you
that, yeah,
because Under Night
replay
having that.
takeover in this day and age, man, you get a 5 stars for me.
That's what
But
I'm
like
saying.
netcode's great. The matches felt good to play. The game is a lot of fun. If we just iron out those little nuances, I think there's a lot of potential here for sure.
If I had to guess, chat, the beta for me is a really good crasher course in a new team tag fighter ideology with very familiar buttons and a vision for a game that I felt before that feels very welcoming now. My score I would give it would probably be like a 4 or a 5. I'd meet it halfway and give it a 5. Versus the potential release, again, yeah, that same feature, since there's something here for looking at replays and whatnot. You can go back and look at replays and actually play the replays out differently using the same encoding, like AI takes over in order to show you different ways how this played out. I jumped that shit up to a 7.
Oh yeah.
Because you can do that in Under Night 2, and then I just fell in love with trying to lab like situations in that game. Alright, but chat, that'll close up everything here for the Invincible versus details here. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to hit me up. And then we can also delve into it in your own episode or in your own experiences that happen through the beta or what you seek from the final product that's going to be coming at the end of the month on April 30th. And Juan Wique, I want to take time here in order to express thank you for coming through here tonight and
Thank you for having me. It's a lot of
sitting
fun.
and talking about a lot of this. Yeah.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much.
Always. It's nice hearing your thoughts on the beta. Oh, absolutely, gamer guy. Like, whenever betas come through and whatnot, as long as I've been doing these, I try to have like a good panel to just sit and think about a lot of the pros and cons that happen through the beta to understand like what's the vision of the game, or what's the vision that you can kind of get a grasp of here that you're about to get the full frontal of later. Oh, anybody you want us to rate?
Let me see. I'll double check. I don't think so. Normally I'd say Steve, but he's not online tonight. Nah, we could send him to the void, man. None of the homies are online.
Let me see. I see Low Tier God. I see Chris G. I see Lotus. I see Kagemaru. I see PariahDox on. He's playing himself some Deadlock. I see Danken is on right now doing themselves some Guilty Gear. Shofu is playing Pokemon Cooking with Pokemon. Tiffany Lockhart's playing some Resident Evil. Celestial Jack is playing.
You could probably send him to PariahDox. That's the homie, the Testament homie.
That's the one. Actually, I interviewed him really early on in my segment. I think he's like he's the first dude I ever did a Guilty Gear segment with.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, let me go ahead and pop him in. Hey, Realms, welcome in.
Right, friendo. Appreciate you having me. I unfortunately have to go because I have work early tomorrow, so I gotta turn in.
Oh, not a problem. And then if there's anything else that's going on or any other topics you want to sit and talk about, let me know, and we can have another episode at some point down the line.
Sounds phenomenal. Thank you so much. Good night, guys. Take care.
Mm-hmm. If you guys hadn't already, go on ahead and leave a follow here for Juan Wique via the Twitch, Twitter, and the YouTube. This will be posted on the YouTube somewhere within the next week or so. Go ahead and pop this on in here and find the raid channel for Pariah. Leave you guys there for the night. You guys got my emotes. Spam them. Let them know where you come from here in the Iacon following. Oh, it's his birthday? Oh, say less. Hang on. You guys got my emotes? Spam them for a happy birthday to PariahDox. It might be a little late, but hey, it's better late than never. You guys have a good night ahead out there. And like I always say, till all are one.
There are a lot of people here. Hello, Rodimus Prime. Thank you for the raid, homie.